Greetings, programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews, where today we're going to take a look at the slightly clinky Alternators Shockblast, who is very obviously Shockwave. Yeah, just like that Energon guy I looked at a while back, this is another figure that came out, I think this came out the same year even, came out 2004. Hasbro currently did not have the trademark for Shockwave, so they had to call him Shockblast instead, which is funny because down here on his foot, it says Shockwave. They know what's going on here. So, yeah, this is actually the first Alternator figure I have, and this thing is incredible. So, as you can see, we're actually starting in robot mode because we're going to do something a little different in this video. I actually have some help, but for now, just going to cover the robot mode. As you can see, really good design for, Shockwave if you're going to make him a car. Obviously, it's weird that he was a car. The whole point of the Alternator stuff is these were just really accurate cars that also could become Transformers. So, hence, logo on him, says Mazda down there, other logo, other half of the license plate, all the lights. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And he does manage to have a fairly clean backpack. There is a panel back here, but when transformation comes around for this guy, you'll see that it could have been a lot worse. You can see inside of the doors here, even have, molded handles and everything. This piece on the door slides back and forth. I don't know if it's supposed to do it so freely or not. It does on mine anyway. It doesn't cause any problems. Not really a big deal. Tires are, nice and squishy rubber. Really good light piping, actually. He shares that in common with the Siege Shockwave. I know it was a big deal how well light piped that guy's head was. This guy had the same thing. And, really quick, here on his normal arm, I have his muffler pegged in. There's a little hole on each side right there in his elbow. But this was another thing with the Alternators where this was their gun. Somewhere on them they'd have a piece that folded out into a weapon. For this guy it was the muffler, and it becomes a gun. So, yeah, they always had something that folded out into a gun. I know Swindle was a Jeep, and he stored his gun in the spare tire, that's on the back of a Jeep. A lot of other ones had, you'd pop out their engine block. This one, it's the muffler. So, as you can see, there's two little tabs on each side. Just gonna go ahead, open up his hand. Worth noting, the trigger finger is separate from the rest of the fingers. But there's a little peg hole right in there. Go ahead, just peg the gun in there. If you can, it can be a little tricky to line it up. But, get in there, close the hand up, move the trigger finger out a little bit, and there you go. Shockwave is now dual wielding, and it looks really great. So, posability on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and just get the gun out of here. As mentioned, he's got the classic 3 fingers and then trigger finger. The head is on a slightly limited ball joint, but you get a little bit of wiggle, quite a bit of up, little bit of down, and full rotation. It's a very stiff ball joint on mine, but I do appreciate that. Keeps things in place. Shoulders can rotate all the way around. The arms can move out and even upward. As well as you've got the transformation joint in there if you need it, I guess. The elbows are on a double hinge, so they can move full range. The gun on this arm is even on a bit of a ball joint, so you can rotate it around a little bit or, turn it. On this side, the wrist is on a swivel, so you get wrist rotation there. Arm is exactly the same otherwise. He has a waist swivel, goes all the way around if you need it to. Legs can go out all the way on a ratchet. Forward that far, back all the way if you can keep his, car cape out of the way, I guess. Ratcheted 90-degree bend at the knee. And then his feet are pretty weird. So you've got a forward and back right here at the ankle. The feet are clearly very, very messy. This is the only part where he's not pretty. Oh, I just realized. A Cybertronian radial on the tire. That's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, so you got forward and back. You've got this piece down inside that basically acts as the heel. And then the front right here is where you get your tilt. So the feet end up being very strange. But if you take a little time and mess with them, they do work pretty well, actually. So, yeah, overall, robot mode on this guy is really cool. He's a little back heavy, at least mine. I'm still getting used to this guy. I actually just got him in the mail today. But anyway, probably a good time to get to transformation here. So I'm actually going to toss this guy over to my buddy Xakimus, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, ArcNeo, for letting me help you out with this review and collaborating with me on it. I do want to point out before I get too deep into this that my toy is not the same as his toy. Mine is seeing a little bit more love. I'm at least the third owner of this figure, so it's in decent shape. It's missing... Strangely enough, it's missing screws from the bottom of his feet. And also, he's missing his one accessory that he comes with, which is the little muffler carburetor converter gun thingamajig. But it should be complete enough that it'll do for this review. So to start it off, what we're going to do is we're going to put his arms up. We're going to rotate his legs. What you want to do is you want to bring them up and around like so. And then with the other side up and around like so. And then you want to rotate his feet at the ankle. And on the back of the foot, you want to open up this, and open up this. And that'll get you ready for the transformation. Well, I mean, we are transforming it. If you're not ready yet, you should have been. So with this up and this open, then you want to just take and you want to fold his leg into that cavity. So it goes in just like that. Close that up. And that's one leg basically done. Same with the other side. Open this up. Open that up. Open that up. Put the bumper away. And then fold it all the way in. Bend the knee as you do that for optimal, whatever I'm looking for, that word. These legs just tab together. And then you want to disconnect this. Oh, why do I feel like I should have rotated the waist around? Yes, that's proper right there. Yeah. All right, now let's focus on the upper body. You want to take and disconnect this section right here and bring these sides down. You want to kind of wiggle his head through, while at the same time you want to take, at some point these corners are going to fight with you, and at that point you want to take and you want to rotate these down like so, and they will rotate around that corner. And now you're free, hallelujah, be free. Real quick before we get this all in position, you want to take his head, rotate it all the way around, and that will allow this to go into position once we get to that point. You want to take and maneuver this windshield into place, extend this out, flip that around. There's this little ball joint right there. Flip that around. Now we're starting to get somewhere. You want to rotate his arms around. Like so. One of the issues my copy has. This arm likes to pop off for little to no reason. Alright, now with it all in this position, you're going to fold this head up. These are all on one pin, but you can move them all independently of each other. So as the head folds up, you're going to also tilt it up like that, but it's just going to tuck into this little cavity here. And you'll see that the little head fins are going to go right into that thingamajig right there. And then you want to take and you want to bend this around. When this figure first came out, I bought him new from Toys R Us, and I was really excited to have found it. So I went and I brought it over and showed it to a guy I knew. And I don't know if he was happy that I found it first. So he went out and bought 3 of them. As you put this in, you'll see there's a little pointy part on this wheel assembly. That's going to go into this little divot right there. So you kind of just want to move the tire as you put it in. And there, now we got this right. This thumb is going to want to, there we go, open that up so that that goes around this section here. Alright, so with the doors all open, then you want to take, and these seats extended out, you want to take and you want to unfold this. And then you want to kind of flex this a little bit to get that around so that this is all lined up. And again, kind of flex this a little bit to get that in there. And then you're just going to tab this into place. Put the doors into place and put the front doors into place. And then just kind of give the whole thing the trademarked alternator squeeze to make sure all the panels line up. If I had the gun, then this would be where I fold in the sides and plug it in right here. There's a tab right here, or sorry, a hole right here that it would peg into, and it would just fill that up. And it's like a muffler or carburetor converter or something like that. But this model is fantastic. I don't know if I mentioned already that of all the alternators, this mold is actually my favorite. Well, I mean, the original Jazz version I think is a little bit better than the Shockwave version. But yeah, the RX-8 is definitely my favorite alternator because it looks good. It looks great from the bottom too. Everything, and it's got all the bells and whistles that you'd expect. You know, it's got the opening doors. This is all accurate. It's got an accurate front seat and back seat. You can open up the hood. Open up the hood. to have. You can't open it up a whole lot, but he's got, you know, decent engine details in there. You can even open up the trunk. There's nothing in there. There's no space for your luggage, but you know, you can open it. And yeah, it's just it looks like a really good car model in its car mode, and then when you transform it, it looks like a really good, you know, robot. It hits all the points that I ever wanted an alternator to hit, and it does it all really, really well. And so I'm super satisfied with this mold. It rolls really well. I have not had any cracking on these rubber tires. The wheels turn in sync. That's super cool. I dig it. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite of the alternators. But yeah, I actually knew a guy who had an actual RX-8, and I showed him my transformer when I used to have the white one, the alternator white one. I wanted to get the red Jazz, the red Boneltech Jazz, but I never got that because it was a Boneltech and it was awful expensive. But it was such a pretty color. Anyhow, that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. You'll see I've got some discoloration here and here and here, but that's because this figure probably was left in the sun or, you know, displayed near a window or something like that. And that just happens over time. But anyhow, that's pretty much it. Thanks everybody for watching. Go ahead and hit up ArcNeo Reviews and subscribe to him. He's a pretty awesome dude. And I was happy to be doing this collaboration with him and all that jazz. Or Shockwave. Shockblast, even though it says Shockwave right there. But anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.